Okay, so I've got the big leaves all the way around the outside of that outside wire. So now I'm going to start with the, and I'm going to move this so it's easier to see. I'm going to start with the garland, and with the garland they've all got these branches that come off. So I cut these off, but the way the branches are sticking out kind of is the only way, at least for me, that I can tell which way the leaves are going, or supposed to be going. So if you like cut them all off ahead of time, then you won't maybe be able to tell as easily. But what I do is I just start on this this third loop. So there's fruits 1, 2, 3, and then the fourth one is the one that we just put the big leaves on. So this one I just start and I have them going like the same direction. Really, I guess if you cut the small little branches off down here beforehand, you're fine, because the way that these tip leaves are facing, that's the way you want to make sure the garland is going. So you want these facing the same way that these were facing. So you're going to put these, you can start wherever. And I do kind of, well, not really. I was going to say you can kind of stick them where there's a good spot, kind of stack them so they're not all like so many leaves in one spot. But anyways, so I just start it there. And with the zip ties, just really tight. And work my way around the top. You don't have to put a ton in, but I probably do it like, you know, probably, I don't know, maybe after every little leaf segment. Just so it's really tight. And then when you get to these, I kind of just cut them off sometimes as I go, and then stick them off to the side so you have them for later if you want them. You just kind of keep going around. I cut these off too. These loop things. I cut those off because, I don't know, they're ugly. You probably wouldn't see them if you left them on because of all the leaves, but I don't know, I cut them off. Okay. And like if there's like a big leaf that's in your way, you can always just pull it off or move it, whatever. It really doesn't matter. So I'm still working on that third wire. So not the outermost wire, but the one next to it. Oh, and I just broke that one. Okay, so I'll do it again. And I want to get to the part where you have to wrap it onto the next wire piece. So sorry, this is kind of boring. I don't know if you can see my hands. I feel like I keep moving out of the camera frame. And then I got another one of these. Whoop. So I'm just gonna cut that off. So you can cut them off beforehand, or you can cut them off as you go. It really doesn't matter. Whatever's easiest for you. feel like the farther into it you go, like the fewer zip ties you need because it, like the leaves almost start holding stuff in place themselves. Alright, so here's another one of these that's kind of tucked behind. Cut it off. Trying not to hit my thing that's holding my phone. Okay, so I'm almost back to the point where I started on this wire. So you can see, I hope, you can see this is where I started, and this is, you know, my garland is obviously still going. So you can see this is where I'm still working from, and this is where I started on this one. So what I do is I just, instead of cutting it and like going on to the next part, I don't know if you can tell. Instead, I just go down to the second loop, the second wire. So right here. So this is where I started. This is where I guess I ended. And the garland's not gone, so I'm just gonna bring it down to this second wire right here, the one that's closest to the one on the inside. And then just start going around that wire. So you don't double up on the two inner wires, I guess. You just, I guess that's what you would say. Like, you don't, because otherwise it's too hard to make it even. You'll just automatically have one side, it'll be lopsided. So now I'm just going around the second layer, or second wire, just like I did the third wire of the loop, cutting off the branches as I go. And again, you can cut them off ahead of time. I'm going to cut this one off now. And then as I'm going to, like, see, these leaves are like underneath, so I just kind of like push them out of the way. Push them up. So and just make sure you're doing it pretty tight. So see, again, I'm just gonna, I don't even know if you can see, I'm just gonna move these out of the way and go around. Sorry, I'm like working around. There's like a pole thing like right there and it's got my camera on it. So I'm like working around like a pole. It's weird. Okay. And then I'm going to get to the end here. And again, it's got this like thing at the end. I just cut this off like right where the last leaf thing is. Okay, so the garland, we're still on our first garland, and we're on the second wire now. We went all the way around the third wire, and we're going to be, we're on the second wire now, and this is where we're ending up. And I just put one, like, right above the very last leaf, on the garland, just to hold the end in place. Okay, so you can see, like, this is the second wire. This is where I'm ending. And this over here is where I started on the second wire. So there's a little bit of room. And we're still on the first garland. So when you grab your second garland, you'll start over here. And when you get to this point, you'll do the same thing that you did on the third wire and just go down to the bottom wire. So let me show you that. So again, I'm grabbing my new garland and I'm looking for this end that has the leaves on it. The other end has this loop on the end. So you want to start with the one that has the little leaves on it. And I just put that, sorry, I just put that right where the other one ended. So here's the end of the first garland. I'm on the second wire. Here's this one. It's just going to go right next to it. And same thing. Just kind of, this first one is kind of hard to do sometimes. Just because might be because I'm trying to work around the camera, but sometimes it's because it's heavy and bulky and weird. Okay, so again, you'll pull off, or you'll cut off the branching pieces. Just kind of set them off to the side. And you will move the leaves that are already there out of the way so that these can like lay flat and go around the second wire. Okay, so now I'm back to, I'll probably put one right here, which would actually be kind of hard to do. There we go. Okay, so I'm back to where I started on the second wire. So now I'm gonna bring it down to the first wire. So this is where I started on the second wire, so I'm gonna drop it down to the first wire. So now I'm on the inside, the most inner wire of the form, and I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm going to cut this little loop off. I guess there's only two loops, one like somewhere in the middle of the garland and then the one on the very end. Okay, so you're going to take this one, and, oops, sorry I hit the camera. Go around. You know, this might be getting too long to even, like, put on Facebook Messenger. Okay, so I'm just going to go around the inside with this one, and when I get back to where I started, which is right here, I'm just going to cut the garland and be done. So there'll be a little bit left over. So I'm going to start a new video.